it's me, Percita, and this is Percita's Paradox. So if you're new, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I appreciate your time and energy. And of course, if you are returning, you already know what to do. Always share, tell everybody about it. And of course, thank you so much for coming back. So here we are, Thursday, New Year's Eve, 2020. We have so much to reflect on, so many things that we could talk about, so many stories that we can tell of the tragic things that happened, the injustices of what 2020 stood for, right? Not that it actually was or had just begun, but for what it stood for in regards to where we've been and where we are, and how terrible the presidency was, and how awful, the COVID dynamic of the pandemic, and everyone who has passed and lost so many great people, and all of the other tragic things that we could say about 2020. But because so many of us have already discussed it, and because it's been inundated in us all year long, I'm going to personally choose to not acknowledge it quite as much in this video, and really say that if nothing else has happened in my mind in regards to what has happened in 2020, is I know that I must stay present. And what that basically means for me in all of this is that I must stay aware of my purpose in it all, because it's happening, right? It cannot be stopped clearly by any one particular person. As I said in the last video, we are a collective unit. We're relational. We have to do things together. But what I'm really understanding about 2020 is that you really want to stay present. You really want to make things simple and straightforward and honest and open and authentic as possible. You want to leave absolutely nothing on the table every day. You want to tell the people that you love them, and you want to show them every single day. You want to give your absolute best in everything that you're doing every single day. Simply because if we have not learned anything else in this entire experience, and I'm just going to go even further than saying 2020 was the crescendo of what I think has been building up for years, right? But we really want to identify that if in 2020 specifically, you have not learned that nothing is promised, right? From your quote unquote civil rights to your emotional rights to your physical attributes in regards to how you access something as simple and used to be free as air. You want to be very clear, and you absolutely want to make sure you are no longer slacking. Like, for all the slackers out there, if you're watching this video, I doubt it, because nobody on this channel is a slacker. But if you are, then I want you to be absolutely clear that the time is of an essence for you to stop. If you are not about really doing something that's going to be productive for not only yourself, but for mankind, then you should absolutely understand that you learned nothing from this 2020 experience. Life is about living, but it's also about being in a position where you're accountable, and you become accountable not just to other people, but to yourself. That presence, that identity of really understanding that if you're not happy, if you're not in a space of feeling good about you, some of that you can't control. And I'm not telling you that we're talking about the mental health scenario, because you know how I feel about that. And if you don't, go back and look at my last video that I discussed it. But what I'm talking about is for the people who are now over that hump, and who have worked through it, and who have found some sense of counseling, or they've reached out to someone, and the people that know that they can do better, the able, right? The people who are in that position. You have to absolutely focus on what it has been that you are not being present in, be it your family, be it your job, be it your purpose, be it your conversation, be it your finances, whatever it is. Promise yourself going into yet a new season, because we're not even going to call it a new year, because to be perfectly honest with you, I am not even capable of saying Happy New Year at this point. I think I'm just going to simply say today is Saturday, the 1st. and keep it pushing. But if you understand what I'm saying, you want to be present. You want to be accountable. You want to be strategic in your mindset of not only striking these positive notes of what you want to do, but really purposeful notes of the simplicity of being kind to not only yourself, but to other people. The simplicity of not making a comment on every single thing. If it's not positive, keep it pushing. You really don't have to take the time to do that. You can literally just keep it going, scroll through it, get off the phone, shorten the text. Don't reply to the email. It just doesn't have to be quite so contrite and negative as it's been. Take the time to know that everything does not need input from you if it's not positive. Understand that it takes so much effort out of your day to be negative. I don't know if you've paid attention, but just understand that negative, and when we use that word, we've used it in such a blanket statement, it's complicated to just really hone in on what the negativity is. I like to call it a distraction. Typically, we allow negativity into our day when we're distracted and we need something to lash out about. I'm hoping that 2020 has taught us all that when we're feeling that way, to just simply stop and assess and find some way to be grateful for what it is that you have gotten, achieved, that you're coming into, whatever it is, and then move forward so that you can move through that negative, so that you can walk away from feeling the need to want to lash out. And again, these are for people who are absolutely in that space. If you know that it is deeper for you and you need to actually hone in on more of your mental health, then I ask you to then go and take the responsibility to seek that out, because we all know how we're feeling within. No one else does. And that also requires for you to be present, because then to be present within yourself means that you're not lying to yourself. I mean, we all can stand behind our social platforms and the things that we're doing, but we want to be present, and we want to be authentic in our presence, and we want to really be able to give more than we're receiving. Because again, 2020 should have taught you that giving is absolutely more than receiving. Allowing someone to come and actually receive something from you is such a blessing. And I'm almost sure that everyone who is looking at this video has experienced that in some form or another. You've helped someone this year in some form or another, be it a conversation or a donut or just a simple good morning, than you have probably ever done before, because we all longed for it so hard this year. Be conscious of how good you felt and how great that feeling is to recreate every single day just by simply being present. So I don't want to go into yet another moment of talking about anything more than how to solve the problem. The problem has been stated. We understand what it is. Everyone is feeling hurt. Now, how do we solve the hurt? Moving forward, the first thing that I think that we can do is to be present. So I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to give you a long plethora of things. I'm not going to make it too deep. I'm going to simply say those are talk off points that I wanted to get on to say. That is where I want myself to be, and I hope you to be coming into this new season of your life, coming into January of 2021. And I will absolutely say that if we can do that, I think that we can do so many more things to come. So again, Happy New Year. I say that with a question mark, but know that I love you. Know that I want you to live life authentic, and know that there is nothing better than to be present. Have a great day. Happy New Year.